What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? It is me, the BBK, and welcome back to the Bosses Conference Room. So, I hope everybody had a wonderful Friday. I had a good day myself. The information that I have received has been a little overwhelming, but we're gonna get into a few things. We're gonna do it. Excuse me. First thing I want to bring to you guys' attention is about the vaccine. Now, the vaccine, the killer Pete, if you will, the virus has been around for a very long time, right? We have been watching this, keeping up with this. I'll make this a little bit bigger because I want y'all to be able to see what it says. What's going on, JB? Lord, I'm getting old. Let's go. I'm going to need you to enter the chat in a more cheerful manner, young lady. So we know that there have been different strains of the virus. They've had many names over centuries and decades and years. The most recent one, outside the one that we're going through right now, we know during the Obama era that when the strain hit, it was referred to as the H1N1. Just a different strain than COVID. You see that? I said the word. Almost choked me to death. So this is a report where they have, as you can see, they update it every Friday. And it kind of tells about the events, much like what the CDC reports. And I think this report actually came from the CDC. It talks about death, how many deaths have been reported, and the percentage of reports. I think this percentage is over the nation. Could be over just the country. But as you can see, the deaths, 0.72%, life-threatening 1.36%, permanent disability, 1.67% of our people have received some type of a disability, a life-lasting disability behind this virus. Congenital defects, people that were hospitalized, 5.32%. Emergency room visits, 26.15%. And it goes on and on and on. Now, if you notice, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. The highlighted section tells us about, it says submitting a report to VAERS does not mean that healthcare personnel or the vaccine caused or contributed to the adverse event, possible side effect. These values are only available from the VAERS report, active 6/30/2017 to present. That is June 30th, 2017 to present. Now, 2017 was very much Donald's era, but H1N1 was here during Barack's era. This is from 2017 to present are the situations with one asterisk. So as we go through those, we're talking about birth defects, emergency room visits, and office visits. Now, the situations with two asterisks are values that were active from July 1st, 1990. Now, that's a long time. That's roughly 20 years, a little over 20 years ago. And those numbers ranged from 1990 to 2017. Okay. Those showing double asterisks were emergency room office visits, which were at 26.15%. Okay. So that's a huge number over 20 plus years. It may not seem that much, but it's very much so when you don't even know that the virus exists. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was telling us anything about it. So when you look at that number now, you go, wow, how long has this thing been here? Oh, a very long time. Let's take a look. I still got some stuff that is coming through. Okay, so it's telling me that page doesn't exist. So let's try it again. Okay. Let me share this. This is a tweet. And it talks about 271 deaths, 9,845 adverse events after the vaccination. Now, you can find this report on lifesitenews.com. We're not going to go through that because that's not the nature of what we're talking about today, but it definitely adds into it. Okay, I do have the link. Maybe we'll double back to it later. Hang on. I emailed. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Here it is right here. Okay, so I have to reshare each time. Close this. Okay, share screen. Chrome. Now, this is what brought us here tonight, was the post on the CDC. Hi, Janice James. Hey, mamas. The post on the CDC website. Now, I posted this on my community wall for the bosses only, just to give them a heads up as to, where we were going tonight, what's going on. I have not had a chance to go through the report, but the title alone and a little bit that I did read was enough, because as soon as I got it, it was kind of like a joke. The first thing was that, well, the CDC doesn't do conspiracy theories. CDC, for those who may not be aware, is Centers for Disease Control. They are contracted through our federal government, and they are like the liaison between the government and the civilians. They handle all health matters, diseases, infections, and other things that happen in the world, different bugs, how they morph and transform. And this is a website, as you can see from the link at the top, it is a .gov link, which tells you this is not fictional, this is not rumor, this is fact. Now, why would you be going on the Centers for Disease and Control and finding an entire section titled Zombie Preparedness? Why would you do that? Why would you find that there? We're going to try to work it out together. Now, when people used to talk about zombies, first thing I think about is movies, and the next thing I think about are video games, right? Because that's where most zombies are, TV and video games. But here, they talk about zombie preparedness. And it says, wonder why zombies, zombie apocalypse, and zombie preparedness continue to live or walk dead on a CDC website? As it turns out, what first began as a tongue-in-cheek campaign to engage new audiences with preparedness messages has proven to be a very effective platform. We continue to reach and engage a wide variety of audiences on all hazards preparedness via zombie preparedness. Now, when I read that, it seems kind of like, well, we're going to use this crazy title and to shock the people into coming to the website and reading what we're talking about. Because if you just say we're talking about things, healthy things to eat, different viruses and bugs that may be going around and that you need to be aware of, if you were saying something like that, people wouldn't be that interested, right? And we can compare that to YouTube. And remember, this is how I rationalize sometimes things, how I apply them to real life. In real life, when someone is giving you information that is helpful to your real life situation, some sectors will appreciate it, will watch it, support it, participate in it, while others see it as boring. And they want to go to where the hype is, where all the action is. Well, what is it that you're receiving from the hype and the action? A few kikis, giggles, and a couple of frustrations and disgusting situations, but nothing that will tell you how to live, how to continue to live, or how to survive in the real world. So, I take it, well, they're just trying to shock us. They're trying to scare us, right? So we're going to go on. Now, they have a blog that says there are all kinds of emergencies out there that we can prepare for. Take a zombie apocalypse, for example. They have something that talks about preparedness for educators. Why are you trying to prepare a teacher on how to survive a zombie apocalypse? Like, how would teachers even be into that? That's fictional. It's video game, right? They've got the posters. They have a book, and then they have it on social media. Now, here's the thing. When you start putting stuff on social media, when you start making pages for social media and you are government affiliated, that means you have something that you want to spread directly to the people. Cut out the middleman, cut out the government, cut out the news media. You want to spill it straight to the audience and you want to get their attention. And again, if you're talking about something healthier, you're not going to get anybody's attention because it's boring. But you say zombie, all the kids gonna come, the parents gonna come, the grandparents, the politicians, the churches, the nurses, everybody gonna come, just like we did. So let's look into zombie preparedness blog. And when I look at it, and mind you, this is an article that is dated 2011. 2011, it's been here 9 years, almost a decade. But in the life that we're living in right now, when I think zombie, the first thing comes to mind now, after I found this, is shit. If you look at a zombie today, you got a zombie because somebody took the shot. Bingo, red flag. See, it's a lot more to that shot than the people are letting on. It's a lot more than what they're telling us. It's a lot more than what they're sharing with us. Why? Because if they were to tell us the truth about everything, we wouldn't even be able to handle it. We wouldn't be able to take it. Some people would be crazy in a panic. Some people may start taking their own life, which we're going to talk a little bit about that because, see, it's about to be an uptick in suicides. And trust, it ain't because of Killer Pete. So let's see. Walking Dead fans, check out our latest post. And I'm just going to open it and sit it to the side, and we'll come back and check it in a little bit. So they talk about the emergencies, and they said, that's right, I said zombie apocalypse. You may laugh now, but when it happens, you'll be happy you read this. And hey, maybe you'll even learn a thing or two about how to prepare for a real emergency. A real emergency. The only thing y'all posting on the CDC site is real situations, real events, and real circumstances. Now, you might not be honest and forthcoming in telling us how this emergency is going to come about, but the fact that you're referring to it as a zombie speaks volumes to me. Because we've already seen and heard the different situations that have come about with people taking this, being accepting and receiving this vaccine. We are even aware of one of our content creators and YouTubers over in this sector, Nicole Tyler. Shout out to Nicole Tyler. We still praying for you, Queen. We know what she's going through. And we followed the very first 4 volunteers in the United States of America that took the shot. If you recall, they called Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy is a condition in where you lose a feeling. One side of your face becomes paralyzed. I showed the pictures of these 3 individuals because, see, the 4th one, they didn't show a picture of, which tells me, in my personal opinion, that their condition was a lot worse than them first 3. And those first 3 were really bad. They were really bad. Right after that article came out about those first 4 catching Bell's palsy, then they had a number of other situations that they did not put in the media that we saw the receipts on. We saw the pictures and the videos. Then they changed their mind about hurry up and come and take the shot and go see your primary physician and speak with him about taking the shot and make sure that you don't have some pre-existing condition that would cause a reaction. Well, my problem with that is that if you guys ran this through the FDA and you got FDA approval, that's some shit y'all should have been checking on to make sure we weren't gonna have no reactions due to a pre-existing condition. Because those people that may have lost their life due to a side effect or reaction are gone, and who's to blame, right? Because see, if the CDC says you need to do it, you need to do it, and there's no questions asked. There's no checklist, nothing to go through. You need the shot, you take the shot, and the government gonna stand behind them. I have taken the vaccine. I'm fine. Okay, Janice, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. A lot of people are fine. A lot of people are not. A lot of people have taken the vaccine and they report no problems. But then there are probably twice as many who have taken it and have experienced problems. We've seen outbreaks, breakouts in the skin, in the face, in their muscular and neurological areas, a number of things. But you know what? Right today, we're going to talk about how the CDC is trying to teach us about zombies. This is not for a video game. This is not for a movie. This is something that obviously they foresee here in the near future. And the only way you can foresee something going on where people have zombie-like characteristics or appearances have to be from that shot, in my opinion. And I could be very wrong. But we're here to talk about it tonight and see what y'all think about it. Because see, ain't nobody talking about this on the news, right? So it gives you a history of zombies. And it refers to a movie, Resident Evil. It gives you a little picture of how they're portrayed in the movies. It talks about Night of the Living Dead. Let's see. In the movies and literature, zombies are often depicted as being created by an infectious virus, which is passed on via bites and contact with bodily fluids, right? The scientists wrote a fictional medical paper called The Night of the Living Dead and referred to the condition as antax neurodegenerative satiety deficiency syndrome caused by an infection agent. Now, the survival guide identifies the cause of zombies as a virus called solanum. And we know that they use cartoons, movies, TV series, et cetera, to reveal certain things that are forthcoming without being straight up reeling in your face and telling you straight up what's going to happen. They play games with us, play games in our face, because a lot of the people who are not awake, it goes right over their head. They don't think nothing about it. Even when they slap them in the face twice, they still don't think nothing about it. Other zombie origins shown in films include radiation from a destroyed NASA Venus probe, as well as mutations of existing conditions such as prions, mad cow disease, measles, and rabies. Now, I know y'all heard those old school things about when we were kids about the measles could really turn into something near fatal and change your entire makeup, your chemical makeup, your characteristics, your facial features, whole nine. Rabies too. That's why rabies shots are so painful, because they're trying to counteract the actual rabies infection. Let's see. So it says better safe than sorry. What do you need to do before zombies or hurricanes or pandemics, for example, actually happen? Before they happen? Okay, you wrote this article in 2011, and we had been having infections long before that, but H1N1 happened back 2014, 15. Then you had H1N1 hit somewhere around 2017, and now here comes COVID in 2020, 21. This includes things like water, food, other supplies you get to get you through the first couple of days before you can locate a zombie-free refuge camp. or in the event of a natural disaster, it will buy you some time until you're able to make your way to an evacuation shelter or utility lines are restored. Well, the storm in Texas wasn't natural. We don't have an evacuation shelter. The elites have bunkers, and there are bunkers that are still being created, built, and put together for people who can afford to purchase them. Of course, they're also setting up camp on another planet that we've heard Butch, or whatever the first man that walked on the moon, say. He said he never went, but that's another video. Utility lines restored. Well, here we go. Texas is going through a whole utility issue, a utility crisis, a crisis from the storm, man-made storm, and utility issues where they're fighting over money. Just heard a thing that the mayor quit, talk real bad about them, call people down there lazy. Another video. Anyway, here are a few items you should include in your kit. Water, 1 gallon per person per day. And mind you, things like water and basic necessities and survival things I've been preaching to y'all for over a year. Food, stock up on non-perishable items that you eat regularly. Medications, this includes prescription and non-prescription meds. Sanitation and hygiene, household bleach, soap, towels, tools and supplies, utility knife, duct tape, battery-powered radio, clothing and bedding, a change of clothes for each family member, and blankets. Important documents, copies of your driver's license, passport, birth certificate, to name a few. First aid supplies. Although you're a goner, if a zombie bites you, you can use these supplies to treat basic cuts and lacerations that you might get during a tornado or a hurricane. Now, they make light of it, but that's what you do when you're talking about a serious conversation. It's just like, your husband getting ready to divorce you, and he said, baby, I love you. You remember when we was married, he go into the good times and he stabbed you in the face saying, I'm out. I got a new woman and we out. Or I got a new man and we out. Anyway, once you've made your emergency kit, sit down with your family and come up with an emergency plan. Who you going to call if zombies start appearing outside your doorstep? It ain't funny. And the CDC is not a comedic stage. I'm just saying, you know how we break it down when we see stuff like this, articles and read, we break it down and we look at how they play in our face. It includes, where would you go? Who would you call? You could also use the same plan for floods, earthquakes, or other emergencies. Identify the type of emergencies possible in your area. Floods, tornadoes, earthquakes. Pick a meeting place for your family to regroup. Pick one place right outside your home for sudden emergencies and one place outside your neighborhood in case you're unable to get home right away. These are things that we should be teaching our children anyway. Pandemic set aside. These are plans that we need to have for our children. I told y'all, hell, talk to your kids about the doormat. If the doormat is flipped upside down, don't come in the house. Things like that nobody else would think about. Subtle clues that you can give or share with your family that would maybe keep them safe or save their life. Hey, Summer Breeze. I've always said this is your chat. Back to your bushes. This has always been my time. And I've been missing you, Queen. I've been missing you because you were one of those awake people that was starting out getting me to going. So thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. And you don't have to stay in the bushes. You're welcome in the chat. Let's see. Identify your emergency contacts. Make a list of local contacts like police, fire, and local zombie response. Also identify an out-of-state contact that you can call during an emergency to let the rest of your family know that you're okay. Now, about emergency contacts, why would you need a list for police or fire? Because that's supposed to be easy, right? That's plain cut and dry. 3 numbers, 911, right? But if you ain't got no power, right? A lot of people in Texas was without power, but still had cell service. Why? Because the power that was supporting the cell towers that was supporting their cellular service was not affected. Yes, they still had cell service, but they did not have lights and gas or water, whatever the case may be. So if you were to lose lights but your cell towers are still working, you still have power to your phone. But see, a person like me will be in trouble because hell, I only know one phone number by heart, and that's my son and my mom's. Everybody else is on speed dial. So I know I got to do better. But hopefully you're teaching your kids to do better. You're not, just assuming that they're doing the right thing or that they're ready. You really need to be trying to teach this and beat this into their head if you can. John QQ, what's up, King? That's what the FEMA camps are for, shelter stations to protect those who may not be infected by a virus. Right. No need to be captured. People will be running to them. Hey, and those that are not running to them will be getting slung in there if you refuse to take the shot. We talked about that the other night. Thank you for coming, John. Okay, so plan your evacuation route. And they go back to trying to make it funny. When zombies are hungry, they won't stop until they get food, i.e. brains. Right. Which means you need to get out of town fast. Plan where you would go in multiple routes you would take ahead of time so that flesh eaters don't have a chance. This is also helpful when natural disasters strike and you have to take shelter fast. They try to make fun with it. They try to make light of it so that you don't read too much into it. But see, we already know better. So yes, we're going to read into everything they say because they've been playing games and playing in our face, and it's almost over. It's almost over. FEMA is a paid organization getting paid for BS. Because they damn sure ain't government. Catch that, T. I found that out last year. Just like I found out Red Cross was not government. They contracted with the government. And for a long time, the government wasn't even making them be accountable for all of the money that they were getting. But that's a different video. Near fear. CDC is ready. If zombies did start roaming the streets, CDC would conduct an investigation much like any other disease outbreak. They would provide technical assistance to cities, states, or international partners dealing with a zombie infestation. Again, the CDC is not a comedic platform, so ain't nothing funny about this shit. They're telling you something, whether you pay attention or not. We're going to keep getting into it. This assistance might include consultation, lab testing, analysis, patient management and care, tracking of contacts. Pump your brakes. Tracking of contacts, hence the microchip that they want to put in us. I digress. Infection control, including isolation and quarantine. So if they fear that the pandemic is going to change you into some, they have created a vaccine that they don't really believe in, that will not cure you or prevent you. We really don't even know what the hell it's going to do other than possibly modify your DNA. But if they feel some kind of way about you not playing ball, your ass is going into camp, like it or not. That's why I continue to say, keep your kids with you. Don't separate yourself from them kids. Do not let them kids go to school. It's up to you. You ain't got to believe me. Do the research yourself. Look into it. I'm just ripping the Band-Aid off, letting you know it's some hidden shit behind this. And you need to look more carefully before you make any rash decisions. I know the parents, they tired them damn kids is bad. They're ready to get them out the damn house so they can breathe. But you got to be vigilant and you got to be careful. BBK, I told you about the Red Cross last year. I stopped donating 15 years. Yep. And when we ended up digging into it because somebody had sent me something about the houses and stuff they were supposed to be building in Haiti and the $500 million that they had cash. They shipped that cash over there in containers wrapped in saran wrap, as far as I'm concerned, in containers and stuff. And, it's like, why do you need cash in Haiti like that? And then they went over there, they built 5 houses and spent all of the money. When they came back, the government wanted to know where all the money went. They couldn't account for it. Anywho's, an investigation, it's likely that an investigation of this scenario would seek to accomplish several goals. Determine the cause of the illness, the source of the infection, the virus or the toxin. Learn how it's transmitted and how readily it is spread and break the cycle of transmission, thus prevent further patients and how patients can best be treated. They have not determined the cause of the illness. They have not determined the source of the infection, the virus or the toxin. They have not learned exactly how it is transmitted or how it is spread. They have not secured how to break the cycle of transmission or prevent future cases. And they have not determined exactly how to best treat us. That vaccine ain't really proved nothing yet. Yeah. We've heard all of them say, the vaccine won't cure you and it won't stop nothing. So why do I have to take it? Those are the questions people should ask when they're met with bullshit crap. FEMA is just like the Federal Reserve. Nothing federal about either of them. They're private corporations. Yep. Hey, Lorraine. Yep. So they talk about other emergencies. They talk about join the zombie task force. Now watch this. The CDC Foundation, a nonprofit partner of CDC, is offering zombie task force t-shirts. Click on the picture to find out more. We will. Proceeds go to benefit disaster relief efforts and other important health programs. Now, see, I'm finna step out on a limb. They was real smooth how they said that. Nonprofit partner offering. Proceeds. Disaster relief. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that paragraph right there just told me a whole bunch. They just confirmed they full of shit. Just like John said, it's so many words. Because now y'all done created a foundation. And I had already presumed it was nonprofit, probably 501c3 or one of many other nonprofit codes registered with the three wise men, the I, the R, and the S. And y'all selling t-shirts. So y'all not getting no sponsors, y'all not getting no donations. The hell you ain't. You getting money from, you getting a contractor money from the government. That's my belief. Whether it's true or not, that's what I believe. But y'all selling t-shirts so that y'all can help disaster relief. So let's see, you got the Red Cross that does disaster relief. You got FEMA that's supposed to do disaster relief. Why does CDC need to start getting out of the virus category and going over into a relief category? Because y'all need to extend the realm of being able to juggle some of this money that y'all planning on getting from. Look, I'm just talking. Don't pay me no mind. Proved you might not wake up. Right, JB. Just fussed at my mom. My exact words. You said it. The answers are written on the Georgia Guidestones. Right. And remember, we showed the Georgia Guidestones. We did a video. John chimed in. He broke it all down to us. And they're still talking about those Guidestones, by the way. Now, I don't know what's going on over there, but I think I read something that said it's supposed to be power, if you will, in those Guidestones. And we're not talking about electrical power. We're talking about, Area 51 type of power, if you know what that means. Now let's click on the picture and see. Ooh, now wait, I got to show you something. Ooh, I'm gonna have to share my whole screen because I don't like to have to go out every time. She was going to a church for that vaccine. I'm glad she told me before she got there. Oh, wow. So I clicked the picture like it instructed me to do, and look at what it told me. Authorization required. Now, why would I need to be authorized to buy a t-shirt? It took me to the foundation page. It took me to the page in the section that says zombies. Why would I need to have a login and be an authorized user to buy a t-shirt? Remember, one of the key words that they use back here. Let's see. Where was it? Tracking. They use tracking. Yeah, they talked about tracking. So y'all see all of the cookies. Every time you go to a website, you see the cookies come up. You see that if you're having a phone conversation and you go to a social media platform, Siri or Alexa done already told them what you was talking about. So then they start bringing those ads and stuff up in front of your face. If you buy something online, those ads continue to come up across social media because they're watching what you're buying. They're watching where you're eating. They're watching where you're going. I think somebody referred to this once before as predictive programming or something like that. Same damn thing. You trying to push something on me that I'm already doing. Anyway. I will catch the rest on replay afterward. Okay, good night, Janice. Thank you for coming. Bye, babe. Yeah. So it's not going to let me buy a t-shirt. So let's click another link and see what it says. Okay, so that was the link for the t-shirt. Let's click the foundation. So you told me I could click the picture to buy a t-shirt. It wants me to log in. You told me that you had a foundation and it tells me that you want me to log in. Why do I need to log in to do any of this? Let's not forget, we were told behind the scenes in the underground to type in Illuminati.com backwards. It took you straight to the Central Intelligence Agency website. The other day, what did they tell us to type in? JB, what was that they told us to type in the other day? You typed in the word and it took you straight to the White House website. Anthony told us it was some type of a backdoor entrance for those employees, those workers and colleagues and contractors. Well, why do they need a back door? Why don't you just give them a login and let them walk in the front door? Oh, that's right, because they're supposed to be secret, hidden. You don't want nobody to know it's them. Anybody that's perusing a website, you don't want to be able to identify certain individuals that may have access. Okay, I get it. Or that you're considered right. So this is it's a little overwhelming. Now, when it tells us to go to the emergency place, now mind you, we were just on the zombie page. You don't need to use the word zombie to tell me to look at your emergency page, your emergency preparedness page, and figure out how to get myself ready for what's coming. And remember, they always give us a clue something about to happen, whether it's cartoons or movies. Like your president, for instance. He's not mine, he's yours. Your president told you not once but twice when he was campaigning, and once since he got the new title, there will be a dark winter coming. Look at Texas. I'm just saying. If you never Googled dark winter, you should, because it was another one of those government simulations. And it's funny that these simulations that they speak of, they write of, that we find out about, they end up with a lot of people dead. And what's interesting is that when these people are actually dying, nobody is talking about it. Now, somebody sent me something, I got to go in the archives to get it, that said that they had been communicating on Twitter with some of the people from, I'm going to guess, the government, because it was giving up some good information. And they was like, oh, did those people really die in y'all simulations? And it was like, well, it is unsure. No, nigga, you know it's very sure. You're very sure. You just can't speak on it. I'm going to tell you something else. We watched the administration/media family tree. I presented that to y'all not once, but twice. There are people that are under the presidential administration who have family members with mainstream media. So that is how, again, they play in our face, because the family will find out what the people want the other people to know and what they don't want them to know. That person didn't tell their sister, their wife, their daughter, their twin, whatever, hey, when you do the news, here's some information I want you to put out. And then they feed us half-cocked information, and we take it and run with it if we even listen or pay attention to it. But I'm telling you, if you don't think something is odd about the CDC having a whole zombie page and then turning around and using links in the zombie page to send you to an emergency preparedness page, if that does not seem odd to you, shit, click off. It ain't nothing else, for us to really talk about. Yeah. See, I don't need you to drop pieces of chicken outside my door to lead me to the chicken house. All you got to do is crank up the grill and open up the vent and let it come out in the air. Bitch, I'm coming. I'm just saying. Tracking under the new Trace Act that was mentioned previously on your channel too. Right. We talked about tracking. I think that was what, HR 6648 or something like that. Oh, I have the document in my file. If I need to pull it up, just say so and I will get that for you. But yeah. And the funny thing about it is it has not passed into law. I do not believe, not at this time. But they sure are recommending, suggesting, highly suggesting, we think that it's the best thing for you. We don't want your opinion. We want the facts. The fact is the vaccine has not proved to be of any benefit to us. What the vaccine has actually proved is to be potentially fatal to certain people. And what people they're fatal to has not even been identified or exposed or presented. Hey, Raina. Hey, Mama. He ain't mad. Well, Raina, since you're here, I might as well give you my saying. I am an independent pescatarian. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I am independent pescatarian. Mm-hmm. And I believe Summer Breeze hooked me up with the pescatarian. So now when we come to the emergency preparedness, it doesn't say emergency preparedness. It says prepare your health. Wait a minute. Let me go back a page. I clicked, it says CDC emergency page. Okay, so you say emergency. Hell, I thought the zombie page was the emergency page. No thanks. And then you turn around and you repeat a lot of this. But see over here, I see you added Killer Pete to the title. Emergency Preparedness Response and Killer Pete. The pandemic has made preparing for and responding to disasters and emergencies a little more complicated. No, it didn't. You did. Because last year when I was telling people what happened if you hit the switch and the lights don't come on, look at Texas. Last year when I was saying what'll happen if you dial 911 and no one will come, last year Michigan put it out. We're going to be screening the 911 calls. We can't help everybody. No, the pandemic didn't cause that. Y'all made those decisions. The same way y'all caused that dark winter. The same way y'all shut that power down because y'all was over a monetary battle with you too. Man. Let me stay focused. HR, thank you, John QQ. Because when I was seeing 666, I was like, nah, you thinking about the devil. 6666. Thank you, John. And we can definitely go over to that page and take a little peek and see what's going on. But before we go, they seem to have a list of those who are at increased risk for severe illness from Killer Pete and live in areas prone to hurricanes and wildfires. Well, hurricanes will be Florida. They could cause a lot of floods. That'll be interesting because Florida is ground zero now for Donald. And wildfires, well, California is a wildfire area. Down in Orange County and more in the South Bay, where we have a lot of dirt. What am I looking for? It's not the desert, but you have a lot of plantation. You have a lot of homes back in rural areas. So then we don't get a lot of rain. We get a lot of heat, right? We get a lot of strong winds. Those strong winds. And that dead vegetation, dirt, sticks, tree branches, leaves, other things start swirling around in the wind, and poof, you got a fire. Somebody flick a cigarette, that wind carried those ashes, hit and touch different things, and the wind start. It festers the blaze, it builds the blaze, and then of course the wind just carries it and takes it on, right? So then you burn up all of this stuff. And you use water and sand and dirt or whatever you use to put it all out. And then here come the rains. And then it may rain 3, 4, 5 days. Now what you got? Mudslides. What you got? Houses coming off the... Hey, I don't think Killer Pete got nothing to do with it, but hey, I digress. I'm just reading what's on the emergency preparedness page. We didn't need CDC to blame the pandemic for stuff that's been happening long before COVID, H1N1, SARS, yellow fever, HIV, et cetera, before they came through, these events had been happening. Ain't nothing new about these events. Same shit, different day. That's all. But let's take a look at the people who are at an increased risk. And here, let me drop the link, because if John in the chat, I want him. Invite, copy. John, you are so welcome. Okay. People at an increased risk. Now, people at increased risk for severe illness. They talk about older adults. Now, I got a problem with that, because older adults are not the only one at an increased risk, right? There have been infants, there have been kids, there have been young folk, all have lost their lives due to this pandemic. So we saw what, an 80-something, 90-something year old couple of people, Black, white, Asian, all go into the hospital and come out walking, come out in a wheelchair. They all right. So don't discriminate. Let's not discriminate. Did you know they wanted to weaponize lightning? I figured they probably already have Raina. And you know what? We may get into that maybe tomorrow. But let's look at what they're saying about older adults. They're at the highest risk, right? Okay. Certain medical conditions, okay. Those who live or visit with them need to take protection, okay. Now, let's get it. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Y'all try to put this on age. Hang on, let me get something. This coughing is messing with me. Hang on. Now, y'all want to talk about age, but you say severe illness means that a person with COVID may require hospitalization, intensive care, a ventilator, or die. Well, we know one dang thing. Anybody going in the hospital getting on the ventilator just about gone. They put you on the ventilator, it's pretty much a wrap. Now, I don't know if Nicole has been on the ventilator, because we know she went home and then she went back. She was complaining of having a hard time breathing. We're praying for Nicole, and I hope everything works out to her. She is not an old woman. She is fair to middling. Now, these statistics that they're giving, it's funny they can give them now, but they couldn't give them when everything was going on, when New York was a hot spot, when they was dropping like flies and they had the refrigerator truck out there throwing the bodies in because the morgue couldn't hold them. Now, this is February 26th that they put this up about older adults. Oh, wait a minute, what's today? The 26th? It was updated today, excuse me. It was updated today. Okay. Talk about certain underlying conditions. Now, if you know of the certain underlying conditions, why did you recommend that people speak with their primary physicians before getting a shot to make sure that it would not be fatal to them? If you knew the conditions, why not put them out there, right? And let your doctor work with you on it. Because I hear a lot of people that don't wear masks say they have asthma, so they don't have to wear masks. Hell, I got asthma, but my doctor ain't said shit to me about not wearing a mask, but I didn't ask either. Because anywhere I don't want to be, I'm going to break out the coughing, spitting, flipping, and everything so you can hurry up and show me the door. Now, let's see about these conditions. Oh, so they have a list now. When was this article written? Oh, updated February 22nd. Interesting. But you had to link all of this to zombies to get your point across. I'm just saying. Okay, let me bring this up. Cancer, chronic kidney disease, COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, Down syndrome, heart conditions such as heart failure, coronary artery disease, or cardiomyopathies, immunocompromised state, a weakened immune system from solid organ transplant. Hold up right there for a minute. Immunocompromised state. I've heard that title when people are talking about AIDS patients or patients with HIV. They say it's an immunocompromised thing. And I think that's what AIDS stands for, some immunodeficiency. Okay. So maybe I'm a little off, but okay. But it says from transplant. It doesn't say from anything else. Obesity. Oh, body mass index. So fat people. Okay. Severe obesity. Oh, you talking about Shamu Wales. Oh, okay. Pregnancy. Well, we know of a nurse who lost her baby. She was excited about taking the shot. She was a little over 3 months pregnant, lost her baby within the next 10 days. Sickle cell disease. Smoking. Smoking. Well, smoking will definitely affect you with COPD. Type 2 diabetes mellitus. Now, here go the lie. I'm going to try to make this as big as I can make it. And I'm going to use my phone to see if y'all can see it. Now, I want y'all to see this lie. That very first sentence. Killer Pete is a new disease. The lies they tell. Ain't nothing new about it. Because if it was as new as they want you to believe that it is, it wouldn't have been on the damn what them cans was with them Lysol cans. Yeah, it wouldn't have been on the Lysol can. So it ain't new. What y'all presenting to us and how you're presenting it is new. That's what's new. Based on what we know at this time, adults of any age with the following conditions might be at an increased risk for severe illness. Asthma, moderate to severe. Cerebrovascular disease, cystic fibrosis, hypertension, high blood pressure, immunocompromised. Oh, what? Oh, wait a minute. Let me make this big. Now, I just spoke on immunocompromised, and the first time y'all said it was due to organ transplant. And what I said was, oh, well, I've heard immunocompromised before, and I thought it was related to AIDS, HIV. But now when you say it, and you refer to a weakened immune system, you go into a little more detail from blood or bone marrow transplant, immune deficiencies. Here we go. HIV, use of corticosteroids, or use of other immune weakened medicines. So people with a disease or something, now they okay. Neurologic conditions such as dementia, there you go back to the old folk again. Liver disease, there you go back to the fat folk again. Pulmonary fibrosis, having damaged or scarred lung tissues. Thalassemia, a type of blood disorder. Type 1 diabetes. Want to see the evidence behind these lists? No. What I want to see, since y'all done narrowed down all of the conditions that can cause it, why the fuck y'all ain't narrowed down all of the drugs and the different mixtures and whatnots that you need to give some shit to us that's going to prevent it or cure us? That's what I want to see you do. That's your specialty, right? That's why we pay your ass, right? We pay your ass to dig into the viruses and to help the specialists, the virologists, and the whatnots to figure out how the hell to cure us and keep us alive. We don't pay your ass to sell t-shirts. We don't pay your ass to run around trying to save the people that's been affected in natural disasters or man-made disasters. We pay your ass to save us from these goddamn viruses. I'm sorry. I got upset. Okay. So let's go back a little bit. Now, they talk about wearing a mask to protect yourself. Limit your interactions with other people. Stay 6 feet. Wash your hands often. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Cover coughs and sneezes with a tissue or the inside of your elbow. I want to stop right there. If you know how to prevent it, why you ain't figured out how to fix it? Why you ain't figured out how to cure it? Come on now, come on. We just gonna keep it all the way funky. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't want your sanitizer. Keep it. I'll continue to use soap and water. Hell, I'll use dishwashing liquid, laundry detergent. Hell, I'll use peroxide and alcohol. Fuck with me and I add a little bleach in the mix. I'm good on y'all don't have sanitizer. Because I told y'all once before, a real snake back there in the CDC trying to do something to us, they'll put that shit in the hand sanitizer and shoot it all over the country for free. Watch us drop. Still not knowing what did it, what got us. I'm just saying. What makes my eyes, my nose, and my mouth so special to not be touched with my hands? Is that the only way for me to catch the killer Pete? Is through my eyes, nose, and mouth? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if we really gonna play semantics, what do you tell a pregnant woman or a woman that just had a baby that's breastfeeding? You told her don't touch her eyes, nose, and mouth. What about her areola? What about her titty where the baby suck on? Look, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to make it make sense. They act like we ignorant. Well, you know what, Raina? The reality of it is we have been very ignorant. A lot of us, not everybody. A lot of us have been very ignorant for a very long time. And some of us are so ignorant that they don't want to know the truth. Some people will do anything and say anything to dismiss it and make it the least part of their worries. Some people want to be okay knowing what they know and riding with what they ride. That's it. They don't want to know. They don't want to know nothing else. Them same people that don't want to know nothing else, they ain't out there doing that. They're not out there advocating for nobody. They're not out here teaching people and educating people on how to help children who may be less fortunate or who may have some type of a defect or special needs or need assistance. They're not here educating the people on how to get money from the government. Y'all let a billionaire with computer information technology help y'all design what's supposed to be something that's going to help us eliminate the virus or supposed to protect us from a virus. That dude makes virus or helps protect your computer from viruses. He has no medical training, no medical certification, no degrees in medicine, but y'all let him try to tell us. Now y'all done let him go out here and buy up all of the farmlands. Why is Bill buying up all of the farmlands? Why? What are you going to do with it? Because I said once before, I really believe deep in my spirit, they trying to turn us into a third world country. Look, I'm just saying, I done told you about supply and demand and how it works. Right? Now y'all running around hollering about all the damn animals that we use for food are getting sick and dying and this, that, and other. So y'all can create fake food. Y'all already trying to work on food where you can sit in front of your TV and have it plugged up to your computer or something. Your TV got to be smart. Otherwise, you're going to have to use your computer. You plug the tube up in front of your TV or your computer or your game and tell it that I want some steak and eggs for breakfast. And you can suck this mush through a tube and your brain makes you believe it's steak and eggs. Why? Why? So I'm going to tell you something. Those movies, those TV series and stuff that we used to watch about the people up in space, and hell, I ain't talking about the Jetsons. I ain't talking about George Jetson. I'm talking about the other movies and the space people. The scary movies where they're in outer space in future years and You know, they push these buttons on a computer and they tell them they want fried chicken and potatoes, and a little bowl of mush comes out and they eat it, and it's supposed to taste like that. What the astronauts and whatnot is eating up there in outer space, they eat mush. They mind make them think that it's barbecue ribs and goddamn me coleslaw, but it's fucking mush. Why is it important for us to be able to eat from a tube while sitting in front of the TV? Listen, you guys and technology have done enough to us and our civilization to make us lazy. Why? Because we get stuck on one thing and we are blind, deaf, and dumb to everything else. You make these fun video games. Do you know them kids can sit on their couch or sit on their bed or sit at their desk for hours? Excuse me. Some people can sit for days at a time in front of a video game. Half of them don't eat. They eat candy. That sugar keeps them going. Playing video games. You made the telephone so goddamn smart that if a person don't find their phone, they will lose their ever-loving mind. You got people so busy with their head into their phone, they're walking out into the street in front of moving vehicles. Because nobody read the fine print on the brand new iPhone 12 or Android 26D that the shit is hazardous to your health. Well, you did tell us to don't be using the phone by the gas pumps. We ain't seen nobody blow up yet, but hey. Hey, Millville, feed us more chemicals and fake meat. Hey, if you get the chemicals going just right, you can do away with all that fake meat shit and just put it all in the mush. Seems like all this information is being geared to affect the baby boomers of the 1950s to 1960s today. A very, very large population group here. All the numbers reflect every 10 years apart. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Mm-hmm. I just got off the mines for sitting on that damn game so long. Hey, it's so easily done. And like I told y'all last week, the more animals that are lost, the less food we have. I mean, if you look at it, why is China and all these other countries shipping food over here to us? China ships barley, beef, and something else to Australia. How do I know? Because I did a report on Australia shutting down its borders. And China felt some kind of way because Australia was leading the investigation as to how did the bug get out in the first place, who let it out and who was behind it. Xinhua wanted them to shut it down, and they wouldn't. So China said, well, since you ain't going to play right, we're going to double tax your ass on this barley, and we ain't bringing no more meat. So when we start having food scarcity, what's going to happen? People going to start robbing and looting and running all over the place. Why? Because they don't have no yard to build a garden. Half of them live in apartments. They don't have no yard. They don't have no grass. The ones that have yards and grass, they don't know nothing about gardening, growing no onions and tomatoes and string beans. And they don't know. That's why I keep saying, listen, while we got electricity, while we got internet service, you better spend some time brushing up on old skills. And if you ain't never had the skills, you better learn. And you better try to take some notes from your children. Y'all better start having more family time sitting at the dinner table. Because see, when we grew up, that's where we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the table as a family. It wasn't no taking your plate to the room. It wasn't no going outside, eating on the patio, looking at TV or movies with your friends. You sat your ass down at the table and we talked about things. Your family, school, the Easter plays, the church plays, the football team, what's going on, things like that. Nobody does that anymore. And we're going to hell in a handbasket. We have cattle. They are so dirt cheap. We've been holding our cows from sale, but meat is outrageous. Does that make sense? It does, very much so. I did a video showing y'all about how to tell if you really have genuine premium steak. When you go to buy your steak, I showed y'all how to see the glue lines. Because see, they, when they cut all of the premium meats up and package them and get them to the side, what's left of the cow, they sell it. Yeah. They take that leftover meat, they take that glue, they glue them pieces together and turn around and call it prime rib, turn around and call it sirloin. Mark it up, ship it out. No different than the pig. When they get through cutting all the prime areas off the pig, what's left with the ears, the snout, the hooves, the tail? They chop that shit up and turn it into hot dogs, wieners, franks. So now challenge. Tell me where they get the bologna from. The salami, the louse meat, what they call a louse, rouse, with the white tip around the end. Where the spam come from? Where the Vienna sausage? Yeah, y'all tell me. Where it come from? What is that? That's right. That's how I grew up, and I'm teaching mine the same way. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna look at one other thing, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. Where did it go? Oh, okay, here we go. Wait a minute. What did it say? No thanks. Always trying to make me buy a dang website. I don't want to buy it. Now, this is an article that was written February 1st, 21. At least 271 deaths, 9,845 adverse events after the vaccination so far. Catch that? So far. Could have said as of this date. They said so far. Nigga, that mean there's more to come. I'm just saying. Now, let's see. They're referring back to the VAERS report that we looked at the beginning of the live. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Okay. 9,800 adverse events possibly linked to COVID. Now I'm going to click the link. Now, this information is coming from the National Vaccine Information Center. Why do we need the CDC giving statistics, the National Vaccine giving us statistics, and VAERS giving us statistics when y'all done told everybody to lie about them? I'm just saying. Anyway, from 2018 release of VAERS. Oh, so they're getting it from VAERS. Using all 823,487 cases in the database. No presentations were requested, so there is no further information here. To see presentations, check one of them in section 1 of the search form. So this is not a hyperlink. I cannot touch it and it goes down. So it says section 1. Section 1 is up here. Show age and vaccine type and vaccine and vaccine manufacturer. Okay, show cases. We over here, we're going to look. Order by, I'm going to say state. Show map. Find. It's loading. It ain't no need of me changing the share until you give me something. So I'm just waiting. It's loading. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you so much. You too, King. Okay, so here we go. We got a map. So let me share screen. Wait a minute, am I still in here? I am. Okay. So here is the map. Okay, and here's the legend. So the white states have no cases. This looks almost white to me. It's the only one that looks white. This one is a light blue. Let me shrink this down a little bit so we can see it a little. Okay, still not going to show. Okay, so the deep, deep blue, 20,000 to 99,000 cases. California, Texas, Florida. And I don't know my upper states. They look close up there like New Jersey, New York somewhere. What is that, Michigan? Is that Alaska? The darker blues up to 20,000. Okay, those are a lot more scattered. So I'm going to have to make it bigger again because it does have some words down here. Okay, here we go. All right, so here we go. Location, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona has 13,000 cases. Arkansas, California has 60,000 cases. California is being reported as having the largest number in the United States, 60,000 plus cases at 7.37%. Florida is another big state, 3.72. Georgia, 19,000. Illinois, 21,000. Indiana, 12. Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, New Jersey, New York is up there, North Carolina, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, Virginia, Wisconsin, all double digits. Have you noticed something about the majority of these? About half of the battleground states have double-digit numbers. I'm just saying. You've got 99,000 foreign and 91,000 unknown. Now we're going to get into the vaccine type and the manufacturers. GlaxoSmithKline has 2 adenovirus. Merck 1, Pfizer 1, Teva 1. So the adenovirus, it's allegedly 6 compounds made between 5 manufacturers. They have an anthrax vaccine, 45 counts. Cholera, 26 counts. Killer Pete has 11. Now, Moderna makes 2. Pfizer makes 2. What do you guys remember when we looked up the manufacturers for COVID? Pfizer and Moderna were the ones approved by the FDA. However, there were 2 other pharmaceuticals. I believe Merck was one of them, and I don't remember who the second one was. They actually had a vaccine that was making people well, but they weren't approved. They were denied the right to distribute the vaccine. I'm just saying. I showed the receipts already. It's in other videos. Diphtheria, 239,000. Encephalitis, that's water on the brain. So these are all of the hepatitis. These are all of the different vaccines and the manufacturers that make them. HPV, influenza, Lyme, measles, meningitis, mumps, pertussis, that has something to do with cough, I believe. Pneumonia, 150,000. Polio, 193. Rabies, rotavirus, rubella, shingles, smallpox, tetanus, tuberculosis, typhoid, varicella, yellow fever. Listen, as you guys see these different advertisements, different commercials, and different things online, you got to look at the fine print. You got to be vigilant on what it is you're reading and what you're hearing. You got to pick that shit apart. I saw something earlier on Facebook about Johnson & Johnson having a vaccine. They can have it. I bet you they better not shoot nobody with it because they ain't been approved. They ain't been approved. Maybe it was Johnson & Johnson along with Merck that had the ones that really worked. They had proof. Because, you know, whenever you're creating these different medicines and these different cures and preventive drugs and stuff, you have to have guinea pigs to test them on. You have to have a portfolio of the pros and cons, what worked, what didn't, how you tweaked it and all the things, and then you get a patent. Did y'all know that there was a patent on COVID-19? Oh yeah, we got the patent. We saw it already. If you got a patent for something, homie, that mean y'all been messing with it a long time. Y'all done tested it, y'all done did all of the things, and y'all done brought it to the United States Patent and Trademark Office and got a number registered for it. But on the CDC website, did it not just say this was a new disease? The lies they tell. We got the patent for the cure for AIDS. I'm just saying. You've since wiped the patent off of your records. But we got it. I mean, I'm just saying. Somebody went through the trouble to make a cure for AIDS and patent it and got shut down. You better not stick not nary a one and cure not nothing. Because if you curing shit, the pharmaceutical can't make no money off of the disease, off the illness. I mean, I'm just saying. This is the kind of stuff you have to pay attention to and make it make sense. Gil Bates. I like it, Raina. Gil Bates said on a video several years ago about how great chloroquine was for the... Hey, we saw those doctors stand on the Capitol and talk about it, but the black woman, they made her look like a kook. Now, was she kooky? Yes, she was. She was a 5150 paid kooky over there in Africa, Nigeria, wherever she came from. She had some really eccentric ways. Like she wasn't wearing a mask. None of the doctors was wearing a mask when they did that video that went viral. But then she went home and went to church and had on a mask. She was at home in the church talking about the devils and the spirits and the angels having sex with you and doing all kind of disgusting things to people when they was in their sleep. They called her a kook. They called her crazy. That's the same thing they probably would have called my nana and my papa of the things that they told us as kids. I bet you one thing, if you talked about her, if you used her picture as a thumbnail, if you used her name in your title, YouTube came through and bopped you upside your damn head. I know I went to jail behind Estella. I think that was Isabella Abraham, I believe was her name. I went to YouTube jail behind homegirl. I didn't use their video. I used her face as a thumbnail, for God's sake, and talked about the combination that she was talking about. YouTube struck my ass and put me in jail for a week. That's my testimony. I'm just telling you. But she a kook, right? She crazy. Ain't nothing she's saying truthful. Don't believe her. Something wrong with her. That shit ain't true. That ain't right. Okay. But you wouldn't let nobody talk about her, play the video, use her likeness, her image, or her name. But she crazy, right? Okay. They can cure if they would let them. They sure could. That's why Dr. Sebi did. Ooh. Okay, Millville. Cancer and everything else, Raina. Everything else. It is creepy, Millville, and it's scary. They interviewed one of I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let y'all go. They interviewed one of the officers from the January 6th thing at the Capitol, and he was telling the people how scared he was, and he was saying how they was armed and how they was dead set on getting in, and said, you know, when they finally got into the building, and he was protecting a rotunda, a section that they weren't supposed to be allowed. And he said, hey, if y'all think y'all gonna get through here, y'all got to go through me. He said he's a big guy, you know, he almost 300 pounds, stands 6'7". He said he thought the people was gonna start hitting him, you know, with them sticks and, you know, kicking his ass. You know what I'm saying? He had a gun, but you know, you in your gun, you got what, 6-9 bullets max, but you got, you know, thousands of people coming at you at one time. He said when the people got to him, they started talking to him, and they told him, brother, we doing this for you. We doing this. He said they had the Blue Lives Matter sign. We doing this for you. He said the man that was talking to him pulled his badge out. He was an officer of the law. He said, brother, we doing this for you. He cheated and he got to go. He said, you know, we said who we wanted in here and they stole our vote. And the officer replied, well, I voted for him. And then they went in, they started calling him all kind of N-words and all of the things. And yeah, then they was getting ready to, you know, put his ass down. You would be surprised at the people that we live amongst. Teachers, preachers, pastors, entertainers. All of them got some very dark spirits. That's why you pray to one God, and that's our Father. That's it. You worship no man. None. Nan, not a nary. And I continue to pray every day that God bring us through. Bring us through and take me swiftly on a full stomach. That's all I got to say. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all. Please like the video on your way out or not, whichever way your spirit leads you. We would appreciate you. Remember, thumbs up, thumbs down. It's all engagement. We appreciate it none the same. Y'all take care. Be blessed and have a great night. We'll have game night tomorrow. Later.